Hello and welcome back to the 5 key portals to the womb of creation. I am Tamara McDowell, mistress of the womb, high priestess to the dark mother, journaler, writer, teacher, coach. There's some judgments for today, but hey, that's who I am, right? So, in the first video, we were talking about the element of earth, and we were talking about why we journal with the elements. And just to kind of recap a little bit, we work with the elements because it's who we are. We're part of the elements, and we're part of that whole experience in life. So we connect with those, and we journal to those. And earth, it's connected with being grounded, it's connected to being rooted, it's connected into ourself. And it's important that we start with ourselves, because everybody will tell you, you have to start with yourself. It has to come from within, right? So that's why we start with earth. Now we're going to move into air. And air, I will tell you, how many times do you spend in your head? How many hours a day are you spending in your head? That's why I fell. In my head. So, but here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being in your head if you're grounded and rooted in earth, right? So here we are for today. We're going to talk about air. And we're going to talk about the element of air. And one of the things that I love most about air is it's our thoughts. Our thoughts have power, our thoughts have energy. And wherever we focus our thought, okay, think about it. Those thoughts go out. They're thought waves, right? They go out into the universe. They project out from a loudspeaker that says, hey, I want this, hey, I want that, even if you don't really want it. So our thoughts create. And if you want to change something, change it in your thoughts first and ground it into the earth, okay? Thoughts are also connected into our way of being, because they're connected to our beliefs. Our thoughts, they create our experience, create our beliefs. Okay? So what happens if you have a belief that you no longer believe anymore, but it's still programmed into your energy, right? Because it's part of your thoughts, which became part of your experience, which is now a belief. So, but we can change that, and we can shift that. And there's several different ways that we can do that, but my favorite is through journaling with air. Because air is swift moving, air is a gentle breeze. Sometimes she can just knock you the hell over. Other times she can just tickle the back of your neck, right? But there's always something that she has to share, and something that she has to say. So when you listen and you pay attention, magic happens. So when we talk about air and we talk about our thoughts and our beliefs, part of the journaling with air is you need to be clear with what you want, okay? And not just, oh, I want to make $1,000. Oh, I want to have like X amount of dollars in the bank. That's all fine and that's all good, and you can create that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those deep desires. Like, what is it that you want? If you lived in a perfect, perfect, perfect world for you, what would your desires be? How would it look to you? That's what I'm talking about. Because when you get into that, then you get clear. And when you're clear on what you want, then you can begin to create it. Because now you're going to be conscious to your thoughts. You're going to be conscious to where your thoughts wander, where you allow them to go. Because it's easy to get in your head, right? It's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to get caught in the illusion of, I don't have it. Or you're stuck. Or you're forced to sit down and do nothing for weeks. Okay? it's a process and it's a dance. And working with air, I'll tell you a little story about air. When I first moved to Colorado in 2008, I had this dream. Now, I never knew that the elements would initiate you, like you had to master the elements in order to be the elements. So I had this dream way back when where I was at a store with my daughter and the checkout girl was really rude and I was like, what's your problem? Why do you have to be like that? And she's like, don't you know I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get out and get to safety because there's a tornado coming. And I'm like, oh my God, never had a tornado, oh my God. And so I went outside and here's this big tornado and I pushed my daughter with the shopping cart out of the way and it picked me up, took me up into the air, but I wasn't afraid. It was like the air just spun around and just kind of like it cleansed me, right? Like it took all of the crap, all of the stuff that I'd been holding on to for a while because I'd gone through some really major life changes. And it was like it cleared that energy for me. And when it was all done, it just laid me down softly on the ground. It took me a long time to make this connection. And the same thing happened with Irma, Hurricane Irma. When she was out on her way from the Bahamas to Cuba, I was like, I wonder if Irma has a message for me. Well, she did. She sucked me right up in there, and I was in her eye. Now talk about seeing life from a different perspective. I was in the eye of Irma, and everything around me was spinning around me in chaos. And I was calm, and I was centered, and I felt this power like I'd never felt before. And by the time she left the Florida Keys and started heading towards Tampa, she just laid me down, and that was that. And so the elements, they have so much to teach us, and that's why we journal with them. But also, when we get into their element and we get into their story, they show us how we can change our story. They teach us lessons, and they take us through an initiation process. And when we are masters, when we have mastery with that element, then we move on. And until we've mastered each of the elements, and we become whole. And it's like magic, it's like you could create on a dime. Right now I'm in fire, so we'll see how that one goes. So anyway, that's why we go back, and that's why we journal. But one of the ways that we can change and affect change through air is through scripting. Now, I'm not an expert on scripting. There's a lot of more powerful scripters out there than I am, and it's a new process that I started back, probably 6 months ago, maybe a little more, this year, 2018. So, air is powerful, and air can be frightening, but air can be cleansing, and air can be uplifting, and so powerful. So one of the ways that we journal with air is same with the element of earth. We get into that frame of mind, and we should already be there because we've already worked with earth, right? So we should already be in that space of connected into the elements. I've been connected into the element of earth, and I gave my thanks and blessings to the element of earth. And then now we're in air. And as we connect into the energies of air, and we call forth the element of air, and we pose the question, what do I need to do now to bring my thoughts and my beliefs into soul alignment with my desire. That's powerful, right? And then you listen, and then you script it, and you write it out. And you write it out like it's already there, like you have it already now. Now that's powerful. So let me just give you a quick little example. It's like you get into that energies of air. And as you call forth the element of air, and as you pose that question, what steps do I need to take? What do I need to do now, right here, today, in this moment, to bring my thoughts and my beliefs into direct alignment with my soul, to bring my desires into the world? And you listen, and you pay attention. For me, the message that I get right now is to bring this out for you. I love journaling and I love working with the elements. I'm going to be doing a masterclass pretty soon that's going to go deeper into the journaling and deeper into working more with the elements. But it's so important for me to bring this information, for me to bring a lot of the messages and the teachings out that I've received over this time. It's like it needs to come out. So that's my message today with the element of air. And so I give thanks to the element of air, and I offer my blessings for the connection to both the element of air, the energies of air, and the energies of earth. And I just be in gratitude and appreciation for you, for all of us. And our next video is going to be on fire.